This is something that popped up as a new conservative PR campaign as of yesterday. Conservatives, Britain is the second most powerful country in the world. You can hear Jeremy Clarkson saying that with the font as well. In the world.
Is this a parody account?
No, this is actually the conservative account. Don't let the doomsters and naysayers trick you into talking down our country. The UK is as strong as ever. And here to prove that, we have an Indian man, a man dying of cancer,
a shipyard, which we have about 2 of.
A football team, which has nowhere near as many Africans as most English football teams do.
For some reason.
Christopher Nolan.
We'll defeat the Chinese. What with Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's going to make a really searing film about you that's going to be 3.5 hours long, really boring, and you're not going to hear a thing over the soundtrack. Take that.
This is embarrassing.
Sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to tell you about our merch store because we get a lot of people asking how can we support you beyond signing up to the website, and the merch store is the best way. So if you'd like to support us, go over to the website and check it out. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, here's a plane. Yeah, it's just throwing up these visual symbols in front of your mind. Also, remember that if this was to scale, Rishi Sunak would be, not even visible because the man is a midget. The man is tiny. The man, you can get a picture of him looking a bit self-serious, but you will never convince anybody that Rishi Sunak is a strong and capable leader. Come on.
No, I'm not a plane guy, so forgive my ignorance, but are those even ours?
Good question. Oh, but look, we've got an Aston Martin, something that nobody in the country will be able to afford anymore because you're all poor.
Okay, I mean, look, so the Conservative Party outlets, we've all seen how they've kind of been huffing glue. I thought it was copium. Do they actually believe this shit?
They can't. Rishi Sunak recently stated, well, in rumours, there were rumours going around that Sunak was going to call the general election around the summertime, and then there were other rumours saying that the rest of the cabinet and the Tory front benchers were saying, if you do that, if you call an election, we will oust you and put somebody else in your place, because they know that under Rishi Sunak, they have no chance of winning an election. So I don't think they do believe it, but they do kind of have to just put up these images and say, like, haha, see, we're still in control. We care about the country. We're powerful. Look, we're the second most powerful country in the world, which we're not.
But that's like the most delusional thing I've read in a long time.
And even then, right, imagine you go back to the 1850s, right? The empire is in full swing. We're in full-on colonial mode. And then you just hear that, oh, in 170 years, we're going to be bragging about being the second most powerful country in the world.
We're not even close to the second most.
Well, that's the thing. We're not even close. We're not even close to the second most powerful, but we will still try and brag about it. Yeah, that's right. We're the first of the losers. No. I mean, this is pathetic. Nobody believes this. What else have they put under? Read more here. Huge Brexit Britain victory. Is that what we are? We're a Brexit Britain victory.
Should we click on this? I want to read. Like, is this just a favour to the Express to get clicks on the Express? I don't understand. Why would you claim something so obviously mad?
Look, here's a picture of the general manager of the American UK branch, talking about things. Jeremy Hunt. They're just doing things, I suppose. What have we got here? The US's 2024 rating of 78.8 is an all-time high since the table began, which is this, according to Brand Finance's Global Soft Power Index. Global Soft Power Index. Okay, and what does the UK score on that? So the US...
Apparently we're second in soft power, Harry. That makes us the second most powerful on Earth.
Yeah, that's right. We have the most financial institutions in London. That's probably what it's all about, is the soft power will be basically debt management.
Everyone speaks English? That's not because of us anymore. That's because of the Americans.
Yeah, that's because of America. So Israel and Russia saw their scores fall. That's right. Russia is not powerful, even though clearly they are, to a certain extent, quite a powerful country.
Weaker than us.
Does anyone really believe that?
Who's stupid enough to believe that?
I mean, does anyone really believe this?
You know what? We can get away with doing what we like, whereas Israel, they're constrained by having no soft power, unlike us.
I mean,
that's just...
Come on. I mean,
does it even cringe?
Does it even say what our score is here? So US got 78.8, increasing from 74.8 in the last year's ranking. Can you see the score for the UK in this article anywhere?
Should we just make it up? I mean, the number probably is just fake.
It's 69.
Nice. Everyone else is 68 and below.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. That's what we are. We've got 69 points in soft power. Which sounds like a dirty film title. Which is appropriate for all of the power that we actually hold. Obviously, the UK is not the second most powerful country in the world. And just saying, literally, the Conservatives were like, right, we need to look good. We need to look good. What can we find? Brand Finance's Global Soft Power Index says that we're pretty good, second best. You're grasping at straws. You're absolutely grasping at straws. And it doesn't take genius to be able to go into England and see for yourself that this country is not working as it is right now. I know you've highlighted some of his videos before, but I have recently got into a habit over the past few evenings of watching kind of doom porn on YouTube, British doom porn of YouTube, which
is the second most powerful country for doom porn.
Yeah, that's right, because Bald and Bankrupt, who I think you've spoken to, have you?
Not directly, no.
No, fair play. But I've started watching some of his videos and other people's where they literally they'll go to a British town, average British town, and take a walk around. And what do they find there? They find dozens of homeless people. Bald and Bankrupt himself in this video goes to Birmingham and points out as he's going through.
Haha, it's Birmingham.
He says, well, let's just say politically correct, I don't feel like it's very British around here, as he's walking down a street that's filled with kebab shops, Indian restaurants, Indian and Bangladeshi clothing shops, nothing British. And the first British woman that he runs into is this poor lady here, who seems to be a prostitute, who's got a black eye. He gives her a tenner to be on her way and try and look after herself. And in response to getting a tenner, she offers to give him jiggy jiggy. And he says, no, thank you, please, just look after yourself. This is the state of the second largest city in Britain.
Yeah.
And then you've got other, like the videos that I've done recently. There was the one talking about Turkish barbers. Yeah, there was why your high street is dead, because this is just the case for so many places where the high street is dying. There's other ones that I've seen, like this guy who also went to Birmingham, but he's got videos going elsewhere as well, like Grimsby, where you talk to homeless people around the town. And I'll just,
I don't know if you've seen, there's also Turd Towns that specializes in...
Yeah, Turd Towns. He's been to Stoke.
This really is an industry at this point of there's 10 channels that just specialize in look at the UK, it's shit.
Yeah, even if the country was the second most powerful in the world, you shouldn't be able to start a cottage industry of independent YouTube channels going around some of the major cities and going, this is terrible. I don't even need to explain it to you. I'll just show you a video. Like this one starts off in the city centre of Birmingham, which still has some okay stuff. It's obviously being kept to a certain extent by the council, even if they're bankrupt, clean. But then the first thing you see is this woman screaming at a television that's showing the BBC News. And she's quite well kept. She's got clothes on.
She's mentally ill.
She's just mentally ill, screaming at a television screen in the...
He pans the camera. He's just like...
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Should I tell you a story?
Oh, yeah, go on. Story time.
So last time I spoke to Miles, because he's from Birmingham, I used to live there a lot, he was like, hey, we should do some more content on the UK, like 6 months ago or something. And his idea was we'd go to Birmingham and just show off how shit it was. That was it. That was the entire pitch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, that would work.
The thing is, and this isn't to dismiss these guys' content, it's really easy to do. You just go to a British town and show how run down it is. It's not that hard.
You used to do this with Eastern Europe and be like, good God, what communism did to this place. Now we can see it.
Yeah, now you go and you go, look at what neoliberalism did to this place.
Yeah, but the pitch didn't end there with Miles. He was telling me, because the reason it came to his mind is because he just got a train through Birmingham and had a massive wait. So he went and got some food and then was hanging out outside the train station in the early hours of the morning. And he sat there like eating this sandwich or whatever. And this homeless guy just comes out of nowhere and it's like, man, I wish I could rape someone. Out loud.
What?
Out loud, he says this.
What?
And Miles just looks up and is like, sorry?
Could you repeat that into this microphone, please?
Yeah. And the homeless guy says, man, if you rape someone, it's like being God because you're making a baby. And then just walks off. What the? And Miles is like, I'm leaving this.
Yeah, get the hell out of there.
It's just, okay. That's the homeless people.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That's not fun alcoholic homeless who is like, give me some money, I won't spend it on booze, I swear. That's like New York level of homeless people. Which...
Yeah, our underclass is becoming even worse. Yeah, because this guy, Wendell, he speaks to a homeless person on the street as part of this video. She's a British woman, and she's talking about how they have to stay in gangs. She has to...
Homeless gangs.
She basically has to stick with people that she trusts, because if she doesn't, she will get raped on the street by another homeless person.
Well, I think I know who.
That guy.
Rape man.
It's just, yeah. Well, obviously, the absurdity of what you've described is kind of funny, but it's really not funny when you consider that this is something that actually happens to be. Yeah, this woman here.
I mean, the other reason we laugh about it is just because of how far this place has gone downhill and how quickly it's gone downhill.
It's absolutely horrible, and just the state of the cities and all of the homelessness. The fact that a lot of these people are out on the street because one of the people that I think it's either this guy or Bald and Bankrupt spoke to in Birmingham you talk to them and they say, why are you on the street? And they say something like, oh, I ended up, I was in a relation. One of them says I was in a relationship, found out my missus was cheating on me. I hit the bottle pretty hard in response to that, because that's a horrible thing to find out when you've got kids with her as well. And then I end up losing my job, losing all my money, and I get kicked out of my house. I get evicted. She's run off with this other bloke, and I'm out on the street now. And I know it's kind of a cliche thing to say sometimes, but the fact that our people are out on the street in those circumstances, and yet someone who's just got off the boat immediately gets put up by the government using our tax money. It's disgraceful. It's not how the second most powerful country in the world should be behaving towards its own people.
And it's everywhere. I remember Michael saying to me one day, he was walking to work in this office, and he noticed that you've got 2 hotels you have to walk past full of boat migrants, and they're just hanging out in cafes and stuff because they've got nothing to do, spending the money we give them on brownies. I was like, okay. And then every homeless person he walks past is English.
Yeah.
I was just like, right, this country is broken on a fundamental level, because the same thing to me was happening in Reading. I remember that. And it seems up and down the country is exactly the same story.
Yeah, similar in Manchester as well. I remember one of my friends in university was from London, and he came up to Manchester for university, and I was walking through the city centre with him one day, and he was just looking around, and he's going, I thought it was bad in London, but Manchester is full of homeless people. Like, there's little crowds of them on every street corner, and there's abandoned phone booths that you can walk past, the little phone boxes, where, 50% of the time there'll probably be a homeless person pissing in there, shitting in there, or openly smoking crack in the little phone booth. I've passed by...
Get the London look.
I've passed by at least 3 phone booths in my time when I was living in Manchester where a homeless guy was smoking crack openly. It's ridiculous. It's not how this country should be operating.
Second most powerful on earth.
Yeah.
China, watch out. We'll send you our homeless.
And in here as well, Bald and Bankrupt, he's going around Plymouth at first, and he points to... Where is it? He's pointing out, oh yeah, look, this is just what the high street looks like now in lots of places. Also, look at this old beautiful building that was built during the Victorian era.
Yeah.
And it's just going unused, completely abandoned. Absolutely ridiculous. This isn't how a proper, sensible, serious country should be governing itself. But this is mostly a lot to do with the decisions that have been made over the past 60, 70 years by our leaders, who have been very quickly degenerating from generation to generation. They've just been getting worse and worse and worse. And it's getting bad in the UK, where out of nowhere, for no explained reason and no press release, no press conference, Barack Obama just shows up at Downing Street, walks in, has some kind of conversation, and refuses to speak to any journalists. Like, what are you doing here?
Well, you see, the branch manager here has been fucking up.
Yep.
So the regional branch manager has had to come on down and ask him why there's so much stuff in the freezer.
That's basically what it sounds like, to be honest, is that America has come and said, like, listen, guys, things are going bad on our side of the pond. Things aren't looking great over here as well. You guys need to start at least making your PR better.
The decline is going a bit too fast. Everyone's noticing too much.
Yeah. So
making the West look bad.
So listen, Rishi, we've got this... we've got this thing that's the Brand Finance Global Soft Power Index, and I hear, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, that you guys are second best on that this year. Don't you think that might look good on your Twitter account?
Oh god.
That's what I can only assume it is. Either there is some discussions going on regarding Israel-Palestine, perhaps, because it does seem like there is a lot of political maneuvering going on to try and maybe nudge Netanyahu out of power over there, because even the Knesset over there, I think, is starting to get a lack of confidence in him, because it's making Israel just look terrible on the international stage. So maybe it was something to do with that. But yeah, maybe it's the regional branch manager just showing up to say, listen, you need to make things look better. And then you've got other things going on with the Conservative Party right now as well, which is, it's really, really easy to blackmail them. Like shockingly easy to blackmail them.
How do we get in on this?
Well, let me explain. So this is a story that came out about William Ragg, who was an MP for Hazel Grove, where some of my friends from Manchester are from. And he's a Tory MP. He admitted involvement in a Westminster honey trap sexting scandal after he shared colleagues' phone numbers with a man he met on a gay dating app, Grindr. He is the vice...
That's how we get in the Tory party. We're going to become gay.
Well... Yeah, I suppose. If you want to become gay,
sign up now
to honey trap some Tories.
Our undercover investigation team at Project Veritas are working hard to be fair, to be gay.
Not that I would ever suggest that this would be a viable thing to do, but this does sound like, when they've had freedom of information requests that have been denied about certain statistics, maybe this is the way that you get them. Maybe this is what was going on here.
This brings a whole new light. People who always brag that they know what's going on in the Conservative Party?
I guess we know how. I have heard rumors. So this guy was the vice chairman of the 1922 committee. The one where if the Conservatives say that the Conservative Party is going downhill, we'd have lack of trust and confidence in our leaders, they submit to the 1922 committee, and then they come out and say, this is what happened with Boris Johnson in 2022. Is a load of MPs submitted to the 1922 committee saying vote of no confidence, he gets ousted. This guy was the vice chairman of that committee. So
there's just something in the chat. They go, why are you Tory? Who says I'm Tory?
He handed over contact details for Westminster colleagues to a man he met on Grindr, to whom he had sent intimate pictures of himself. Yep. So at least 12 men working in and around Parliament, including a serving minister, have been targeted in the suspected spearfishing attack, which is supposedly the name they have for this kind of event.
Yeah, what was the gay guy's motives here, I wonder?
Well, they think that it might have been a hostile state, a foreign state.
Chinese gays.
Yeah, they don't have to be gay, do they? They just have to be like, send your dick on Grindr, bro. There you go. Right, now give me all your details. Give me Rishi Sunak's personal phone number.
Grindr's a different place. Just pay-pigging Conservative MPs.
That's a way of describing it. On Wednesday, Politico revealed that victims had received flirtatious messages and, in several instances, explicit photographs in an attempt to lure them. These were all from a person describing himself as being called Charlie. Now, I'm not saying that Charlie Downs hasn't been on the podcast for a while, but I'm just saying it's kind of suspicious.
You think he's the gay guy? No.
The revelation of Mr. Ragg's involvement comes after the police confirmed that an investigation into the honey trap sexting scandal had been launched. Leicester police said it was investigating a report of malicious communications. Mr. Ragg, 36, who is openly gay, said, they had compromising things on me. They wouldn't leave me alone. They would ask for people. I gave them some numbers, not all of them. I told him to stop. He's manipulated me, and now I've hurt other people. I got chatting to a guy on an app, and we exchanged pictures. We were meant to meet up for drinks, but then he didn't. Then he started asking for numbers of people. I was worried because he had stuff on me. He gave me a WhatsApp number, which doesn't work now. I've hurt people by being weak. I was scared. I'm mortified. I'm so sorry that my weakness has caused other people hurt.
I'm confused. So he's afraid because they had stuff on him, but he's an openly gay Tory. Well, so if they leaked his dick pics, what's the damage?
Well, I mean, even if you're openly gay, you don't want your dick pics out there.
Yeah, but he's a Tory, so...
What does that mean?
Well, they'd celebrate it, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, look at Labour don't have dicks like these.
Never kissed a Tory. Never.
Yeah. Politico reported that the serving minister received a message on 11 March from Charlie, who claimed they had previously worked in Parliament and that they had flirty chats together. The minister replied before going on to block the number. Another former MP was contacted by someone under the same alias on the same evening who sent them a message saying, "Long time no speak, miss you in Westminster," and then later,
it's Chinese.
Yeah, and then saying, "I'm single again, so making the most of the gays in Westminster."
All right.
Charlie went on to provide a surname and name of an MP that they said they worked for, and the next day sent an explicit photo when the ex-MP blocked them immediately. So literally, like, I sent you my dick, please give state secrets.
So that's how the Tory party works.
Yeah, this is how the Tory party works. It's that easy. It's that easy.
So if you want information...
These are the incompetent buffoons trusted with stewarding our ancient country.
Wait, so hang on. So you know how we all write to our MPs and they basically tell us to fuck ourselves?
Yeah.
What if we sent them dick pics?
Well, now you've got my attention.
Would we finally get the will of the people enacted? I don't know.
Well, you might get the willy of the people.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, I'm sorry to be crass, but this whole situation is absolutely ridiculous. And remember, if you think that reform are an alternative after everything,
they don't accept dick pics?
Well, I don't know. We've not tested it yet. But if hope not hate say get on your knees and beg, boy, they're more than happy to, because
they are subs.
Yeah, the purge of actual conservatives, actually right-wing people in reform is still ongoing, as dictated by communists. 2 more hateful Reform UK candidates exposed in latest embarrassment for the party. Jonathan Kay for South Ribble and Mike Greenhugh, Orpington, have openly shared racist views on their public Twitter accounts. Jonathan Kay expressed racist and Islamophobic views on his public X account, claiming the IQs of Africans and sub-Saharan Africans are among the lowest in the world.
It's a factually true statement.
And he also said Muslims never coexist with others.
Factually true statement.
I wonder if there's a millennia and a half of history that might back up that second statement.
Yeah, their definition of racist and Islamophobic is the truth.
Yeah. Mike Greenhugh, selected to stand for Orpington, has said nobody of the Jewish or Muslim faith should stand as a UK MP. He called to remove the Muslims from our territory and claimed that Ashkenazi Jews have caused the world massive misery. So obviously there's definitely going to be some controversy with those kinds of statements.
But I bet he also immediately said, including the Catholics, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's the thing. This should not be up to hope not hate to dictate terms to reform of who they can stand for their candidates and who they can't. But of course, you know, the first thing that happens the second they put that out is gone, whisk them off, skirt them off. We don't want those guys. We want no one to stand for these places, apparently, unless there are going to be some Tory MPs who weren't caught in a honey trap yet, who are going to leave the party and join reform instead, because that's what they're going to be. They're the waste bin of the Tory party at this point. If you're a Tory and you don't like being in the Tories anymore, you can join Tory Light. You can get thrown aside into there where you will be equally useless.
If your currency is dick pics, join the Tory party. If your currency is being dommed, join the...
There you go. So, yeah, we're run by utter buffoons. Not much more to say on it.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as Common Sense Crusade with Calvin Robinson. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.